Howdy folks, how you all doing? Cross the Six here. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Yes, you sat there just thumbing through all of these different videos and you've come across mine. Or if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. And if you want to become part of the Dustonian gang, see what I did there? That little pearl, Cross the Six, Dustonian. If you want to become part of the gang, it's free, non-gratis, doesn't cost you a penny. All you need to do is just hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because it'll tell you when my next video is out. And I'm trying to get a video out every other day. But anyway, without any further wittering on, today's gameplay is on the DeathStar, the FV215B-183. Yes, I acquiesced, and I know I'm against these auctions, and I am against the auctions, but I've been after this tank for such a long time, and there's a little backstory to it, which I'm going to just bear with me for a few seconds while I explain it to you, and try and justify my justification of putting, of getting this through the auctions. many years ago, many moons ago, basically this tank, when I first started playing on the PC, was taken out of the tech tree line, so I couldn't get my hands on it. Now, I had the DeathStar on the console and really enjoyed it until the console wargaming team, in their infinite wisdom, decided to nerf the crap out of it, so that your rounds would be going everywhere but where you're aiming, or if they did land, out of every 8-9 shots, perhaps one would pen, and if it did, you get something like 430 damage. So it made the tank almost pretty much unplayable, which is a bit of a shame, really, because it is such a great tank, and it's iconic, isn't it? Come on, let's be honest. This is iconic. The DeathStar is an iconic tank, and it used to be the case out on the battlefield in the early days, I might add, when wargaming hadn't put their sticky little fingers on it. It was one shot, one kill pretty much, or you pretty much sent somebody straight back to the garage. And I always remember listening to the party chat in the game, and people say, oh, there's a DeathStar on the other team, oh, we've got to be careful, you know, if you get in front of that thing, it's just you'll be straight back to the garage. And I like that. I like that formidable reputation that it had back then. But anyway, as I say, it had been taken out for a few years and not to see the light of day for a while, but it came back. And I had an idea that they were going to bring this thing back in, possibly, and I was super stoked that they have, and I've managed to get one, so I'm really pleased. But anyway, that's my reasoning behind putting a bid in on the auction. But I have to say, I don't agree with the auction. I think it's wrong, and I stick to what I originally said. And if you've any sense, unless it's something like this that you really want and have been after for such a long time, then give it a wide berth. But otherwise, it's up to you. Nobody can tell you how to spend your hard-earned cash, can they? But what I like about this tank is it just looks the business, doesn't it? It does. You wouldn't want to meet this down the dark alley, would you? Let's be honest about it. But no, I love it, and it's such a great tank. But anyway, let's get into the first game with it and see how we get on. So we're here on Nebelburg. I like this map. Again, it's a big wide open map, and that's what I like about a lot of the maps within the game, the big wide open ones, because it just, for me, it's a lot more of an immersive experience. Does that make sense? Because, you know, when you get like the smaller maps like Himmelsdorf or Tundra, which I really don't like. I don't like Tundra. I think that's not one of them maps that you can really have a game plan on. You don't think, oh well, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try and cut them off here, or I'm going to hold this point here. Tundra's just not like that, I don't think. Whereas these big wide open maps, I just really like them. I really do. But anyway, first game out with the DeathStar on Nebelburg. What do you think of this ultra wide screen then? It's my new monitor that I've got. It's the Samsung G9 Neo, and it's a big wide 49 inches of pure goodness. So I'm recording them. Obviously this is my main panel that I play the game on, and so I'm recording it on this, which gives you the ultra widescreen 4K, which I quite like it. It gives it a bit more of an immersive experience. Takes a little bit of getting used to, I have to be honest, from just a normal 29 inch or 32 inch flat panel, which is what I was using, which was the LG G-Sync thing. But I quite like this wide screen, this ultra wide screen. It just, you can see more on the battlefield that's happening, that's sort of taking place, if that makes sense. And it kind of wraps you into it. It kind of sucks you into the gameplay action, and I really like it. What do you think? Leave it in the comments below and tell me what you think. I haven't quite worked out yet how to get it back to just the normal standard screen. So I'm working on that. So if you don't like it, you're gonna have to put up with it for another few more videos until I work it out if you don't like this particular mode. But anyway, really like the Death Stars. I've already said numerous times. I was just super stoked getting it. I really was. I was super excited getting it. And this is my first game in it. Just to see how I do. Stay there. Let me get a shot of you. Stay there. See how you got to really aim and look at that. Look at that. Eh? That's what I'm talking about. And this is how the Death Star used to be. Alright, you're going to get some shots that you miss. You always get that. It doesn't matter what tank you take out on the battlefield. You're always going to get that where you miss shots. Or, you know, your round goes to the right when you're aiming to the left, and it's like a boomerang. There's not a lot you can do about that. Are you going to come out? Come on. Is he going to come out or not? No, he's not. He's backing up. But this is the thing, isn't it? And this is what I love about the game, the immersive side of the game. On cue when you miss a shot. But this is what I really like about the widescreen panel. It kind of sucks you in. It gives you that more. It kind of wraps around your eyeballs. Look at them eyeballs. It sucks you in on your eyeballs. Oh, I don't know what I bump my gums about. I don't know sometimes. It's called filler. It's called filler. Ask anybody. Ask Klaus or Quickly Baby or Skills. You got to do filler. In them moments when you can't quite work out what the hell is going on, you got to come up with some little pearl. And mine is my panel, my screen, my monitor. But I do like it. I do like the widescreen, the ultra wide screen element of it, and it really kind of just immerses you so much more into the game. And I was quite surprised actually when I first got it, because I've only had it about, I don't know, probably about a week, something like that. So I really just started back on the videos element. As I said, I took a break for a wee while, just purely and simply because I'd thrown my dolls out the pram, I guess, for want of a better word, at the fact that you know, you put all this effort in and nobody subscribes to your channel, nobody likes your videos, nobody comments on your videos. They're saying, holy shit, that's it. He can't think of anything else to talk about, so he's bumping his gums about subscribing and liking his bloody video. Well, do it then. Hit that like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out a lot. Thank you very much. But yeah, so Nebelburg is one of these big wide open maps, and I really like it. And I like, what do you think about these 30v30 games? I like them. I'm not very good in them, I might add, but I like them nonetheless. And this is what I'm talking about with this Death Star. You know, you take a shot and you land your shot and it pens, and you just get that little sort of cheeky wry smile on your face when you see 1700 damage coming off of a tank. And this is how this tank always used to be, and that's what I like about it. Did you manage to get your hands on one of these or not, or is it just not your cup of tea? And I understand that the tank destroyers aren't everybody's cup of tea. I get that. But I just really enjoy playing tank destroyers, and I know they're bringing out the new Japanese tank destroyer line very, very shortly, so that should be interesting, I might say. That should be quite interesting. Now let's talk about the armour on the Death Star. The turret is where the armour comes into its own. It's not the greatest, you'll still get penned. The hull armour, it really isn't. I think it's about 152 to the front, which is pretty garbage, so pretty much everything's going to go through it. But it's good for bouncing shots off the turret. You'll generally tend to bounce more shots on your turret than anywhere else in this tank, so that's why you kind of got to keep your distance a little bit. If you try to get into these face-to-face hugging fights, you might get your shot off and you might pen and you might do maximum damage if you're lucky, if you fire a Hesh round. But if you don't, then it's game over for you, because the tank will just knock the crud out of you. It really will, just knock the crap out of you. And there's not a lot you can do about that. So it's always worthwhile kind of keeping your distance a little bit, and picking your shots and just try and wait for your reticule to zoom right in and just hope that the tanking gods are on your side and that they're going to make your round go true and straight down and hit target every time. It won't do though, I can assure you it won't. You will miss a few shots in this thing. And it's 8,000 credits a pop for the Hesh round, so it's not the cheapest. It's not exactly the bog off idea, is it? Buy one get one free. So that's a shame, but do you know what? It's the fun element. It's all about the fun factor in this tank. So I would recommend having a few premium tanks really to subsidise playing the Death Star. But it is a fun tank and it's going to be a keeper for me. I'm not going to get rid of this tank under any circumstances. And I know I keep saying that and I end up selling them like the VZ and the EBR and all that kind of stuff. Which I might give that VZ55 another bash. I do like the VZ55, but the problem I found with it is it's just so wishy-washy. Do you know what I mean by that? It's you get into a game and you'll have a fabulous game and you'll think, yeah, I think I've kind of got the idea of how to play this tank now, and you go into the next game and you try to play it in the same fashion, the same manner, and you end up getting annihilated, or your rounds just don't pen. And I know a lot of that is to do with RNG, I get that. But it's not this big behemoth of a beast that is just a wrecking machine out on the battlefield. Of course, I've watched videos like we all probably do, where I've seen some people playing the VZ55 and they just absolutely cream everybody. And it kind of frustrates me because I think, well, why can't I do that? Am I really that bad a player? I probably am. But the point is that, you know, you do get decent games in it, but just not as much as I would like to substantiate playing it a lot more. And I've had quite a few games in the VZ55 and my overall stats on it are not that great. I've got to be honest, they're not that great. So I kind of gave it up for a bit of a bad project for me and thought, well, I'll sell it. I can always come back to it later on if I need to. So I might give it another bash later on. Now, of course, they've just nerfed or about to nerf the Progetto 65, which again, I love that tank. And I had some really good games in that. But again, and you might find the same as me, that you get this tank and you'll have a fair few decent games in it, and you think, yeah, I'm really pleased that I chose to go down this tech tree line, and this is what I wanted to achieve in this tank. And then all of a sudden, and your game style's not changed any, but all of a sudden the games just seem to be getting worse and worse and worse. And I mean, we've all had these games, and I still get loads of them now, where you'll go out on the battlefield and you'll just do nothing. You seem to have chosen the wrong place to go to on the map. And you can study the map as much as you want, and I find there's like little derivations, if you like, of just every now and again where the team will go all to one side, you know, like the old little lemon train, and they'll do that over a period of maps of things like Corellia, where you think, hang on a second, why is everybody just going down to one side and nobody's, you know, looking to the left flank or the right flank? And lo and behold, you lose, and I find that quite frustrating as well. That you think, well, I'm spending all my time trying to improve at the game, when in the grand scheme of things, come up, stay there. Oh, nice. But in the grand scheme of things, you kind of just it all pales off to nothingness because the whole team going in the opposite direction. So you're either going to do one or two things. You're either going to try and hold that flank yourself, which is probably not the best idea, or you're going to try and follow them. Oh, look at this sneaky little sod trying to get in behind me. I've got a surprise for you. Say hello to my little friend. This is what I'm talking about with the Death Star. This is what it's all about, my friends. This is what it's all about. I love this tank, I really do, and it just brings back so many really good memories for me, which I really enjoy about the Death Star. And it's iconic, as I keep saying, it's iconic, and I love it, I really do. But we're nearly there, we're nearly getting to the end of the game. So what are we sitting at the moment? We're sitting at, what's that, 5,000 damage? So not too bad at the moment, but I'm sure we can squeeze a little bit more out. I'm sure we can give that sponge another little squeeze. Sponge, a little squeeze. I don't know where it comes from. I've no idea. It just pops up into my head, and before I know it, my outside voice has already said it, and there's not a lot I can do about that because it's already down on tape, if you like. I'm showing my age now, down on tape, getting down in the hood. Oh, nice, look at that. See, this is what the Death Star is all about, getting them big hits, the big shots. And as I say, it will bounce some shots, not many, but it will bounce some shots. But you've just got to try and angle and get hull down, because if they're going to take a shot at you, you'd rather it into your turret than into the hull of your vehicle, because if they hit the hull of your vehicle, 9 times out of 10 they're going to pen you every time. You might get a lucky bounce now and again, but not very often. So if you try and get them to bait them to shoot at your turret, you stand a bit more of a chance of bouncing that shot, I would say. But we're nearly coming to the end of this game, so I've kind of waffled on a lot, haven't I, in this game? A fair bit anyway, I would say. And I think they've brought out the T54 in today's auction. Oh, yesterday's auction if you're watching this. I'm not so sure about that tank. As I say, I'm not particularly interested in it. I did see a video of it earlier on from another content creator, and it plays a lot similarly to the M103, I believe. It's not something that I'd really be that interested in, so I certainly won't be putting a bid on it, but you may do, and it might be your cup of tea. And if it is, fair play to you, and I hope you enjoy it if you win the auction with it, that's for sure. That E50M, he's doing well for himself. He's doing alright. I think he's got about 5-6 kills, so fair play to you, mate. Well done. So it's good because he's doing some spotting for me, so if anything comes around that corner, hopefully I will get a shot at it with a bit of luck. But yeah, I'll just like the big maps, as I keep saying, and I wish Wargaming would bring in more of these big open maps. There we go. Told you somebody was going to come around that corner, didn't I? Thanks E50M for spotting him. Well done, you. And yeah, so hopefully they're going to bring in many more maps like this, because that would be great, wouldn't it? Do you like the big wide open maps, or do you like these little small maps like Tundra and Himmelsdorf? And I just think some of these maps have had the day. And I know they've kind of done a bit of an update on Himmelsdorf, which is obviously welcome, but it's not really... I don't think it should be a tier 10 map, and nor should Tundra be a tier 10 map. I really don't. And the other one, what's it called? I can't think of the name of it now. The other street map. Can't remember. Ensk. That should never be a tier 10 map either. So I don't quite understand the idea, the thought process behind it, of Wargaming putting tier 10s on there. I think maximum should be tier 8s, but then I guess that's taking some of the maps out of the game, isn't it, for the higher tiers? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that enjoy playing things like Himmeldorf's Tundra and all these other different smaller maps. I like the big wide open Karelia, Westfield, Prokhorovka, or Kampanovka as everybody calls it, Malinovka. I like all of them. Erlenberg, like that. Ruenberg, I like all of that. Yeah, so... But the new map that they're bringing out, Oyster Bay, I mean, obviously it's out in the next patch, apparently. So that'll be interesting to play that one. I'm looking forward to it, because you've got to go into the training room, haven't you, and with one of your buddies and have a run around it a few times. One, just to try and work out where everything is on the map and where the best hull down spots are and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't do that, then perhaps you should consider doing that, because it helps no end. It really does, especially when you just go... You're kind of thrust into it, aren't you? There's no sort of... mechanism in the game, unless you go in the training rooms, of course, where you can kind of work your way through all the different levels to show you where different spots are on the maps. But you can't beat real life, where you actually just get into the map and run around and just see for yourself of where you think you should go on that map and where the battles are mainly going to take place. And there are things out there on the internet that you can look at that will show you where the high intensity battles take place on every map, so you can kind of gauge what class of tank that you enjoy playing, or that you mainly play, and take it from there and go and have a look and think, well, if I go over there, I might do a little bit better over there, and try it. You know, he who dares wins, Rodders. You can only try, and if it doesn't work out for you, what have you lost? Pixels on a screen? You get them back again after the game's over, so it's alright. I know you lose some credits with it, but who cares? Anyway, we're coming to the end of the game. There's only one of us left. My buddy, Booty44. Look at him, bless him. Look, he's even got a mark of excellence on his turret. Fair play to you, buddy. Well done, you. Well done, you. He got the DeathStar as well. But anyway, without further ado, it's a draw. Let's get to the end plates and see how we did. So, we didn't do too bad. We made 87,000 credits, although that was a loss. Did over 9,000 damage, which is pretty good. So I'll catch us all in the next one, guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Till the next one. Bye-bye.